they would be shifted onto what was known as a gentleman's degree, basically a study of whiskey and cigars, so it was a pretty good thing to be doing. Fortunately, that degree doesn't exist anymore. Though in the 1800s, they opened the doors to boys from outside of Eton. And then in 1972, this was one of the first colleges to allow women in. Before this, there were men's and ladies' colleges. Now, before I go into the ladies' college, it's probably worth noting that in Cambridge, within the 31 colleges, you have to live for those 3 years of your degree or your tripos within something like 2.89 miles, and basically 3 miles, of Great St. Mary's Church, which is on the other side of King's College. If not, then the college can basically tell you won't get your degree. So it doesn't matter if you have family 4 miles away, you can't live there. You have to live within the city centre and within that space. So all colleges will provide accommodation to students throughout the entire period. And also why for student rent, it's actually some of the cheapest available in England, as low as £70 a week to 140. Now 140 would get you a top row accommodation, probably with a fireplace, probably with an ensuite, so you can do very well for yourself. And considering some of the buildings you've been passing, which are also accommodation, the space you're in is not too bad either.
And how much would cost the graduation?
Say again?
The graduation.
What about it?
How much would it cost in Cambridge?
Or what, to graduate and go
Yeah.
through what's £9,000 a year for tuition? £9,000. So that's just tuition. You're probably then looking close to double. That's probably another 9,000, 7,500, 9,000 on living and drinking costs.
Was it cheaper before 2011?
Say again?
Was it cheaper before 2011?
Yeah, it was the same as everywhere else. This is a public university, so it was 3,000, then it was 9,000. Same as anywhere else. So you don't pay any more to come to Cambridge than you would anywhere else in the UK. The 3 windows you're looking at here on my left-hand side, that's 1 bedroom for 1 student. Same for the level above that and the level above that. So this is Bodleigh's Court, which is built in 1861. They extended the building in 1955, and the reason they did this is the rooms are given out to the best and brightest. So if you're a scholar, as it's termed, if you earn a first in your first year, you're then on a list. Now, the best on that list will be given first options and choices to go in. The fair thing is, if you do that in your second year, your third year, you'll have a higher option point anyway. But either way, if you're on the top of the choice list, you can basically walk through the rooms and choose the one you want, which includes the one we passed. But as I also previously mentioned, some do have fireplaces, some do have full-on ensuite. So you can basically kit yourself out, and it doesn't cost anything extra. Next door, a little bit different. This is 1960. This period of time, the architecture is referred to as brutalism. I think it's self-explanatory. So it was actually built by Sir Basil Spence, who's a rather famous postmodern architect. He also gave us New Zealand's National Parliament, the British Embassy in Rome, and also Coventry's post-war cathedral. Now, the British Embassy in Rome is actually an identical twin to this one. The difference with us is we've got the grey on top. That's the foundation for a 5th floor that was never completed because the students not only asked for modern architecture, but as they saw it get built, changed their minds, and they rose public opinion to have it halted. So the 5th floor, which is the foundations you see of that grey, which is just never completed. Now all of that is part of Queen's College. Now Queen stands next to King's because it was founded by Margaret of Anjou. Well, there's going to be a map here. So Margaret of Anjou was the French Queen married to Henry VI, who started Kings. Now, because of the War of the Roses and all of the deposals of the kings at that period of time, the queens of the respective kings started up through Queens. So you've got Margaret of Anjou in 1448, then later on Elizabeth Woodville, also known as the White Queen, and then later Anne Neville, Richard III's wife, came out to found the college again. Initially, the college said no. She then offered them a lot of land and wealth, and their answer turned to yes. But that's why the college is actually spelled with an apostrophe after the S. One of the famous alumni come through Queen is Stephen Fry, a rather popular British comedian, sometimes also referred to as the fourth Queen of Queens as well. It's a popular title he's given himself. The bridge we're coming up to here, this is the mathematical bridge. Now this is famous mainly for a story. And the story says Sir Isaac Newton built the bridge with no joinery or iron, so just like a giant puzzle. Later on, some mathematical students came by, took the bridge apart, but could never rebuild it. So it was left to the students to put it back together again themselves. Unfortunately, that entire story is not true. Sir Isaac Newton died 22 years before the first bridge. That's all right, don't use your hands because you'll end up hurting your wrist. You're better off playing bumper punts if you can't get yourself straight. So the actual name is the Wooden Bridge, funnily enough. Generally known as, well, actually its slang name is Gossip Corner because the laundry ladies, it was originally known as Laundress Corner, actually spent more time drinking ale with the boys who ran the mill, which was above where the weir was, than actually doing laundry, so it became known as the Gossip Place. The pink building there was actually where the laundry ladies used to live. Is anyone here on a one-way tour? No? Perfect. No one has to swim. Further down the river here you have Darwin College. So Darwin College was actually the first postgraduate college of Cambridge. So you have to have a bachelor's before you can even apply. It was started in 1965 and built out of Charles Darwin's eldest son's house. So the white veranda you see there is the Darwin household's original home. And then down here, the Natural Wood is an ex-granary, which is now a library that was put in 94. But you can climb on the spine of the bookshelves, and there's a study nook on the top, which is quite sweet. Especially during the summer period when everyone starts to have to do their exams, and you can watch everyone having a good time on the green. It's a really nice and encouraging thing. Is anyone a fan of Pink Floyd? Yeah, sort of some shakes and nods. So the Anchor Pub here, this was originally a boathouse. In the 20s, none of this was even built up. This was actually more of a shoreline. But the Anchor was, like I say, a boathouse. That turned into a riverside jazz bar, which was very popular through the 60s. And eventually a pub to what it is these days. Now Syd Barrett, or Roger Barrett, who became known as Syd, actually founded a lot of the boys who became Pink Floyd in the jazz bar here.